Like, so there's videos of me, like as a kid, and my parents will be like, "Oh, what do you think of Hawaii, Matthew?" And I'll be like, "It's pretty good." I was talking like that.
Without any further ado, let's bring him out. He is the one and only Matthew Patrick Davis, everybody. Golf claps, golf claps. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I'm so excited. So I guess right off the jump, you know what we're here to talk about, and that is dogs. So let's talk all things dogs. I've been listening to some of the stuff that you've had up on your Instagram.
There's Morty.
Oh my gosh. Tell me everything about your dog, and I would love to know, what is your favorite thing about Morty and your favorite thing about dogs in general?
Well, Morty is a 16-year-old little old man dog.
Oh my gosh.
And but he still has puppy energy, still runs around the house. And yeah, my favorite thing is to laugh at his face.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes he makes really funny faces, like his tongue slides out and he doesn't know, and he's just looking at me like that. He doesn't know he looks ridiculous. And it's, of course, laughing at him with all of the love.
Yeah. And 16 years old. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah. I got him when he was 10.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's great.
What I wouldn't give to know what he was like as a puppy.
Oh, man. So
yeah.
What is like one of the biggest thing that inspires you most about him, that makes writing music about him so easy?
Man, yeah. So yeah, I have a song called "I Love My Dog," and it was, I mean, it still is a pandemic, but it was, really just during the pandemic, so we were getting a lot of time together, and so it just kind of easily came out of me, the song. And then I was like, I'm going to make a video. And then I started compiling all the, like, my favorite pictures and videos of him in that video. And it felt like I was making like a wedding video for him, or don't listen, Morty, like a funeral video.
Oh no.
But that's still far, far away.
Yes.
And then from that, like, people started hiring me to write songs for their pets. So I was doing that. And
any like unique pets that you got to write songs for? Anything exotic or?
I know I never got to write an iguana song or anything. It was only other dogs and then one cat.
Oh, one. They're out there. Cat people are still out there. Yep.
That's right. And this particular cat owner was a big Bjork fan, so I got to write it like a Bjork song. And that was a lot of fun. And then from there, I have a songwriting agent, and they brought me an opportunity with this like children's device called the Yoto player, and was like, "Do you have any long-term content for kids on a theme?" And I was like, "No, but I did just write a bunch of dog songs. I feel like I could write an album of dog songs." And so I did. I wrote an album called "I Love My Dog," and that is now available on the Yoto music player. And Morty was my muse for the whole thing.
That is so great. So I have 2 sugar gliders and a hedgehog. So if there's any inspiration there, I know I have the weirdest, smallest, most peculiar animals. And they're definitely, it's so weird to see these little guys with these huge personalities. Like, they're very bizarre creatures, but they're fun.
I'm sorry, forgive my ignorance. What is a sugar glider?
So a sugar glider is it's essentially a flying squirrel. So they're like little baby squirrels.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes. And I have 2 of them, Beetlejuice and Bill the Butcher, as so do name little tiny flying squirrels. But
of course,
these little dudes have brought so much joy to my life. And like you were saying, during the craziness of the world, during the pandemic, it's like everyone had an opportunity to like rebond, whether it's with their pets, their families. And it's just, I'm an optimist, and I try to find like the good that came out of the terrible. And that seems to be a very good thing, is a lot of people adopted a lot of pets into their families. And so hopefully they are inspired to write music about their pets as well. And I also wanted to say, the device that plays the songs, do you remember like back in the early 2000s, there was like this thing, and I think they were called hit clips. Do you remember the hit clips?
Right. They had just like a couple songs on this little thing or something.
Yeah, you like put it in the other device. That's what is the device that you play the I Love My Dogs on?
It's called the Yoto music player.
Yoto.
And
It
yeah,
reminds
it looks retro. I mean, it does look like an old Nintendo a little bit. And there's like this card that you just shove in the top of it like a game cartridge,
It's so
almost.
clever.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool, and it's supposed to get kids. It like purposefully doesn't have a screen. It purposefully doesn't have a microphone, so it's not like getting your kids addicted to screens or listening to them.
That's fair. It's very
So I think
clever.
it's a good sell.
So let's talk Nintendo real quick, only because I love the picture behind you, and I also got to see your Ninja Turtles. Okay, first question: who's your favorite Ninja Turtle, if you could pick?
I think Michelangelo.
Okay, great choice.
Who's yours?
Michelangelo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're not just saying that.
No. It's really my two personalities are Michelangelo and Raphael, just like depending on what time of day it is. I'm a Mikey right now, cowabunga.
Okay.
And
Yeah, for sure.
what was the first Nintendo game that you remember playing?
I mean, Super Mario Brothers. Like when my parents got me the original Nintendo, and that was the game that it came with at the time, and that was the game that I remember being excited to play. Yeah, I'm aging myself, but
No, I'm a Donkey Kong, so like I get it. It's,
yeah,
the good days, man. I love all things retro, and gosh, that is so fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So since we are now 364 days away now from Halloween, you had this video that is still like blowing up in the internet, which was Nightmare Before Christmas live video. And it's so cool that now I've obviously seen that video a multitude of times over the years, and now I get to put that to a face. So did you have any idea when you were filming that how much of a monumental success it would become?
No way. And that was like, we did that in an acting class. Like I did that in an acting class, and then everyone got all excited and freaked out, and they're like, we need to shoot this and get it to Tim Burton. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do that. But so we just shot it in the place where we have our class, and I just put it on YouTube. Kind of didn't even promote putting it on YouTube or anything. And then it's now has like 5.5 million views.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go viral or do anything viral. So it was just kind of luck.
It always seems like that's the case, right? It's like when you actually want to put something out there and go viral is when it's, but when it's just, putting it online and it took over. Any thoughts on Frankenweenie?
I think, you know what? I haven't seen that film.
Okay.
I think I've only seen the original short that he made back at Cal Arts or something.
Yeah.
So I remember liking that when I saw it, and I've never seen the film. Was the film good?
Yeah, it's really, really good. I like it quite a lot. It has made its way into like my annual Halloween, video showings. But I mean, there's something just so special about the way that it was shot, kind of like in the same vein as Nightmare Before Christmas. Do you have a favorite song from Nightmare?
I mean, oh man. I mean, there's like This Is Halloween, like when the music that music comes in. I mean, Jack's Lament is beautiful. What's This is a lot of fun.
So good.
Yeah. I don't know, probably one of those three.
Yeah, and shout out also to Danny Elfman. He's an absolute genius, and
yes,
I'm also a huge Oingo Boingo fan. I feel like he would be the only reason to get me out to the Coachella desert, because he had performed this past year.
And, I know, and I watched the live stream of it. I did a little home cella, and then also he just played at the Hollywood Bowl, and I went to that show.
Oh my God, was it everything? I can't even imagine.
Yes, it was like the most. It was the most amount of Oingo Boingo songs that he's played live since they broke up in 1995, because it was his Coachella set, but like 2 hours instead of 1 hour, and so it was just like a third Oingo Boingo, a third his new record, and then a third scores. And yeah, it was just great. So great.
He's incredibly jealous.
Yeah, he is Halloween personified,
He is. Yeah. And I mean, talk about being one of the greatest musical geniuses of this generation. Like, he's composed everything from the Beetlejuice theme right to Simpsons. Like, it's just how he's Oh, I'm obsessed. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about theater because I am a complete total theater nerd. Just saw Hamilton's coming to town, so now I must buy tickets. And Beetlejuice is coming here next year. Have you seen Beetlejuice yet?
Not yet, but I know a couple of the people that were in it on Broadway, and I haven't been to New York since it was open, and so I guess I'll have to catch it on tour.
Yeah, I think the tour starts pretty soon, if not December. Oh my gosh, the music is great. It is.
I love the music. Yeah,
but even like more so, the set is perfection. The costumes are great. Whoever put this team together was just so brilliant. I wanted to talk about some of the shows that you've been in. Sideshow, which I love. Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. Sunday in the Park with George.
Yeah.
Okay. Some Like It Hot.
No. Well, I was in like kind of a one-time stage reading of a musical based on Some Like It Hot called Sugar.
Oh, Sugar, of course, yes.
Yeah, and then right now they're doing like a new musical based on Some Like It Hot called Some Like It Hot on Broadway, I think. But
Sugar.
Yeah, so that's where I got to meet Robert Morse, the late great Robert Morse, who played the original Daphne in Sugar, and who you know from like Mad Men and from How to Succeed in Business and stuff. And then, Sunday in the Park with George. That's one of my favorite musicals. It's tied right with Sweeney Todd. I'm a huge Sondheim fan.
Ditto.
And so I've gotten to do that show a couple of times now. And then, Sideshow was actually one of the first prosthetics jobs that I did because I wore this crazy mask in it. And I played the geek in the Sideshow, and I bit the head off a chicken. And I did that show down at the La Jolla Playhouse, and then ended up doing it at the Kennedy Center, and then going to Broadway. That was my Broadway debut.
That's so
that holds like a special place in my heart forever.
Sure. And I know you were recently in a production of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, this summer down in good old Tustin, California. I was the Tin Man.
Yeah, that's so
great.
And
then this Christmas, I'm going to do like an English panto version of The Wizard of Oz, as this time the Scarecrow. So I don't know why, but just Oz. I'm just Ozzing it up this year.
Yeah, and then we just got to get you to be the Cowardly Lion, and then you kind of have the trifecta. Or Dorothy too. Look, that's amazing. Is there a production? I mean, you mentioned that you're a big Sondheim fan, as am I. Is there like a production or a show, a dream role, so to speak, that you'd like to be part of?
Well, I mean, so part of the purpose of making that Nightmare Before Christmas video is to advocate Disney theatricals to turn The Nightmare Before Christmas into a Broadway show or into a theatrical piece. They made Frozen, and they, made Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and Aladdin and all those things on stage. Why not Nightmare Before Christmas? It would be so great. Can you imagine like all the things they could do with that set, and like with shadow puppets, and like it could be scary, and then the whole theater could light up with Christmas lights, and it could be festive, and then I could be Jack Skellington.
Yes, as you should. You have to. I'm just, it's one of those things like I have to sit and wonder, like, why hasn't that happened yet? Like, what are they waiting for?
I don't know. I think because that is like Tim Burton's baby. I think I've heard that Tim Burton would want to be involved, and it's just a matter of waiting until he has a space in his film schedule and the desire to do it. I don't know. I have no idea if like Tim Burton was involved in the Beetlejuice musical or not.
From what I've seen, I haven't seen any involvement on his end. But I mean, it's possible. But the Beetlejuice is one of those like rabbit holes. Like I went down and like had to know every little thing about it from like, oh my God, it's Matthew. It is so good. It is so good. But it's like it captures everything I love, which is spooky and musical, which is Nightmare Before Christmas. So let's put that out into the universe.
Exactly.
I feel like the timing is now. I wanted to also ask about working with Ed Asner. I saw that you did have the opportunity to work with the late, great Ed Asner. Was there any stories or memorable moments you can share with us?
Well, yeah, he was so funny because he's so, he is the character in Up. You know, like he is just this crotchety, like rah, rah. Like that's his persona, but inside is this like heart of gold. And I just remember him. So I worked with him a while ago. So he was 80 at the time, and he had like multiple hip replacements and knee replacements. Like he was falling apart, but still he would carry his like giant duffel bag through airports. And like, if you tried to help him, he'd be like, no, you know, and also if anyone at the airline would like recognize him and want to give him an upgrade, he'd be like, no, I'm sitting with my cast. And, you know, he was yeah, I mean, he was like a socialist, you know, and he like wanted everyone to have access to the same stuff. And yeah, he was.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that people I'm a fan of are genuinely good people. It makes me more of a fan, you know. I was supposed to meet him. I guess it was the week after he passed. He was starting to do a couple Comic-Cons. Like he was, you know, still just as popular as ever, and people really wanted to get out and meet him. And he was scheduled for one I was supposed to be at and host for him. And unfortunately, you know, he passed, but he seemed to have led a really wonderful, very fulfilling life. So, you know, what more can you ask for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a treat to like tour the country with him. Yeah.
I'm sure. What a cool memory. And that's amazing. I wanted to also ask, you had the opportunity to play Joey Ramone?
That's right. Yes. John Ross Bowie, who is like a TV actor that you would probably recognize. He's been in a million things. He wrote an awesome play about the Ramones, and it's not a musical. Like it's not even a jukebox musical. You don't see them playing or singing their songs, but it's just about them as a band and about Joey's girlfriend and about Phil Spector, who was obviously insane and a character. And so, yeah, that was just like a production that was put up at a, you know, small theater in LA, but it was great. I really hope it goes further. It was called Four Chords and a Gun, and it was really good.
Very cool. Shout out to Phil Spector. Oh my God, that's a blast from the past.
Didn't he murder someone?
Yeah, I mean, she only kissed the gun, right? Isn't that what he said? She kissed the gun or something. Come on. Right. I have to say though, one of Al Pacino's prime performances. I don't know whether you've seen him play Phil Spector, but it was
right. I haven't seen that, but yeah, that's good.
I feel like I'm giving you so many great recommendations, Matthew. So
you really are. You really are. My night is filling up.
I know, right? You are busy now. Okay, to pivot a tiny bit, maybe it's not so much of a pivot, but I remember one of the other first things I had seen you in was on Tosh.0 when you did your impression of Ace Ventura. And I recently went back to rewatch it because it's like, I'm saying this as a compliment. It's kind of crazy thinking that not only do you embody Ace Ventura, but you also embody Jack Skellington and the mother. It's like, how is this the same human? Have you always been like an impressionist? Are there other impressions you do, or are you just like an Ace Ventura fanatic? Like, how did that work out?
Yeah, no, I would not call myself an impressionist. When Ace Ventura came out, when I was younger, obviously, it changed the way I move my face. And even to this day, I still, and I don't know, so there's videos of me, as a kid, and my parents will be like, "Oh, what do you think of Hawaii, Matthew?" And I'll be like, "It's pretty good." I was talking like that, and I've tried to get it out of my personality, but it is not going away.
I mean, it's not the worst thing that can happen. I mean, I feel like multiple times throughout the week, in my head, I just hear Chicago. I mean, these movies were so impactful. It was Ace Ventura is so good, so iconic. I mean, I feel connected to it, being from Miami, and obviously, the first one took place in Miami and everything. I remember it being one of the first films I saw in a theater. My parents took me to it, probably a little too young, but that's okay. It's totally cool. And I remember the scene when the shark came out of the giant tank. That was one of my first nightmares. So
great.
isn't that great? Yeah, really fun. So how did that come together? How did they reach out to you specifically to be Ace Ventura?
Well, that's actually the second Comedy Central show that I've played Ace Ventura on. I was also on the Sarah Silverman program playing Ace Ventura.
Fabulous.
And that is well, so yeah, when that was just me seeing a breakdown and going like to my agents, like, hey, by the way, this is exactly in my wheelhouse. I can really do this. And so I went to the audition and booked it. And then it was funny, people there, like Bradley Whitford was in that episode, and he was like, so this is like what you do? I'm like, no, I don't do this. I don't like go to conventions or like do corporate gigs as Ace Ventura, like, hi, but who knows? Maybe I should. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table.
Look, I mean, coming from the Comic-Con world, I've seen some good Ace Venturas, especially when they have parrots or whatever. But Matthew, come on down. I mean, it'd be so much fun.
Or I guess now they would be the Dr. Robotnik, is.
That is, yeah. I don't know if I've seen a Dr. Robotnik, but that would be a pretty intricate cosplay.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, Ace Ventura is easy. You just need like a tank top and a Hawaiian shirt and some gel in your hair. There you go.
Easy. Maybe I'll try it. So let's say that you were going to attend a convention this weekend and you could put together any cosplay. Who would you like to dress up as?
Oh man. I just go as Ace Ventura.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Excellent answer. Okay. So, okay. I feel really blessed that a couple weeks ago, I saw a commercial for Barbarian and had no idea what was happening and went to the theater, and oh my God, what a swerve. Congratulations on the huge success of Barbarian, because it is, I mean, I'm not just saying it, everyone is calling it one of the best horror movies, like as of recent. And I think the cool thing about the film, and I think you had posted on Instagram earlier today that maybe you were going to start putting up spoilers now that it's, been out for a little bit. One of the coolest things about it was you see the commercial and you still have no idea what you're in for. And that was my favorite part was, you go in to see this movie, the first kind of half happens, and then there's like a dramatic break in it. And then here comes Justin. And then just, it made me so happy to be able to be back in a theater and experience that ride. Like it's not often anymore that you get that kind of thrill. And this movie like really did it. So I wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on Airbnbs?
I know. Is this what Jaws did for the water for Airbnb?
Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, Airbnbs are fine. I don't know, whatever. They don't have the same like cleanliness standards necessarily that a hotel does.
Right.
Sometimes, but I don't know. You can stay in some fun places.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like though, as of recent too, like they'll charge you a cleaning fee, but they'll also ask you to do the dishes and do the laundry too. So I don't know. I don't know whether I've ever had a great Airbnb experience, but this doesn't necessarily make me want to stay in another one.
Just don't go into the basement, and then don't go into the sub basement if you do.
Right. I think that's the good thing about Florida is we don't have basements usually. So right. I don't know, where do you put the bad guys? Because we don't really have attics. Oh God, this is a whole thought process.
In the swamps, I don't know.
Yeah, in the swamp, we have lots of those.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about your relationship with Doug Jones, because I see him commenting on all of your stuff, and he is another phenomenal actor. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, he is also a huge reason that I am doing prosthetics work because, when I was younger, I was attracted to, tall, skinny, physical comedians like Jim Carrey, the aforementioned. And I was like, oh, maybe I could because FYI, I'm 6'8". And, so I've always been tall and skinny. And, that puts you in a category when it comes to the acting. And so I was like, well, maybe I could use my tall skinniness for, comedic purposes. But then also when I put together who Doug Jones was, that is all the same guy in all those movies. And wow, that's like physical theater, or that's like pantomime or clowning, or, it's just like I love physical comedians. I love physical. Yeah. expression. And so that was another thing that I was just like, I'd like to do that. And then it was by sheer coincidence that I was doing a one-man musical at the Upright Citizens Brigade, which is a comedy theater in Los Angeles. And I invited a comedy manager, and he ended up signing me. And he represents a bunch of comedians, but then he also represents Doug Jones. And I was like, hey, by the way, I know who that is. And I'd like to do that also, as like a plate that I spin in this career. So FYI. So Barbarian has been a series of things now where they'll come to him for Doug, and Doug will be really busy and unavailable. And then he'll be like, I have a different tall, skinny physical actor. And then I'll be on this like short list for things. So, and then since then he's taken me under his prosthetic wing, and
what
he's
a fun thing.
Offered me a lot of advice, and he's doing great. He's like the nicest guy.
Once again, I love to hear that. Yeah, I got to watch Hocus Pocus 2, which was, of course, he was brilliant in that as well, playing Billy Butcherson again after so many years. It was so great. And then also, I don't want to get the name of the character wrong, but was it Gilman? No, not Gilman, but like Creature.
Yeah, I know. What was his character's name? In the Shape of Water.
Yeah.
I know. I'll just say like the fish guy,
Fish head man. Oh my God. Incredible. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the prosthetics because it is something that I'm so incredibly fascinated with. I don't understand, because you have to have this certain level of zen, like in order to get these prosthetics put on, especially every day. And they take a long time, not just to put on, but to take off. Is there like a certain headspace that you feel that you have to be in while you're sitting there? Do you listen to music? Are you just chatting with everybody? What do you do when you're actually getting prosthetics put on?
Yeah, doing this film was the most amount of times that I had to put on the same prosthetic that I've done. So, and it was interesting. I noticed like, I'm not wanting to like look on my phone. I'm not wanting to, that like the makeup team would put on music. So music would be playing, but mostly it was just kind of a Zen experience. I did grow up enjoying looking in the mirror. Like, I think that was some of my like Ace Ventura isms. When that movie came out, I was just looking in the mirror, and just making faces and stuff. And like right now, I'm just looking at my own image. Oh,
there you go.
Interesting. I'm just a narcissist, I guess. And then as an actor, like getting 3 or 4 hours to just look in the mirror and watch yourself slowly transform into a completely different character is like fascinating. And it's a great way to get in character. So I would just sit there and kind of watch it happen.
That is so fascinating. I'm serious. I love it so much. One of my favorite shows that I'm so bummed got like canceled for whatever reason was Face Off on Sci-Fi. And did you ever get the opportunity to watch it? They would give them such incredible challenges, and just seeing what people could create in a matter of a day or two is just so incredible. It's a profession I wish I could be in. Like, I love people like Rick Baker and V. Neal, and I'm like, how are you doing this? Yeah. At what point, when you're in the chair looking at yourself during the hours of prosthetics, did you find yourself as the mother? Was it as soon as everything was done, or was there like a certain point in time where you're like, there she is?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's towards the end because. But I think like the airbrushing period, that's because when the things go on, they're not skin colored. They're kind of like white almost. Yeah. They're pale. And then so when they airbrush the prosthetics and your own skin, because a lot of it was my own body. Like it was a face and head thing, and then like a thing to cover my Adam's apple, and then a chest thing, and then a crotch thing. And then the rest was like my legs and my arms and my stomach and my back and everything. So it was just like airbrushing, making me like paler. And then also it was just fascinating to see what they could do with like a blue color. They would just like draw a blue line, and they would look like, oh my gosh, a vein under my pale skin, and then they'd like spackle me and like give me like texture. And then by the end of it, it looks like it's all one piece. It looks like it's all my skin. And so, yeah, I mean, it definitely is like, Well, and also they would do the top half first, and then they would do my legs and my bottom half. So during that time, the top is mostly done. So I was able to like look at the top half of Mother for a good chunk of time while they work on my legs and crotch.
See, man, see, like obviously Mother is very terrifying, but I think the scariest thing for me is that I'm lactose intolerant. And I think being like, you know, they're like, drink this milk. I'd probably be like, no, you don't want that. Those are so, I've seen people get PR packages of these and
I
it
know.
is so cool. I'm like,
with the hair
on
and
it.
I was so happy when I saw these, and that I just love the idea of someone painstakingly putting hairs underneath every one of these.
But if that isn't the most brilliant like accessory I've seen to promote a movie, I don't know what is. I mean,
it's great.
Cool. It is.
And
so
fun fact, that it just like naturally caught onto my hair accidentally when we were shooting. So that wasn't like an intentional thing, but then they saw it and we're like, oh, no. And then it became about hair continuity. Like, how much hair was on the bottle? All right. Yeah. In the last take, we got to put more hair on there. And then, poor Georgina had to like suck from the bottle with like hair in her mouth.
Yum. Was it almond milk? No. Okay. So obviously, like I mentioned before, this movie has really like exploded. It's a monumental success, so much so that Stephen King gave it 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up, saying that movie blew me away. It was crazy, crazy good. I mean, that has to feel pretty incredible.
Yes.
Getting the ultimate nod from Stephen King.
That's very exciting. Now, the amount of people that have like tweeted about it that are huge, that people that I'm very excited about is just, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Amazing.
Heck yeah.
Oh, another cool thing I wanted to ask you about was you got to write and produce songs for the Ghost and Molly McGee for Disney, which is very cool. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. With so the series songwriter is this guy, Rob Cantor, and he's an amazing songwriter, and he's been getting a lot of work in the like kid space lately. You might remember him from a viral video about Shia LaBeouf, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Right. Yeah.
This was back, before back when he was just like cuckoo crazy, as opposed to like, oh, maybe he's
right.
a sex pest.
Yes.
Anyways, yes, this guy, Rob Cantor, he has brought me on to help to co-write a certain number of songs for the forthcoming season, which should be out, I think, in like January or something. So,
yeah. Well, one of my friends is the voice of the Ghost, Dana Snyder,
he is so awesome. I've listened to his because I've like helped him edit some, so I've like listened to his raw takes and stuff. He is so funny, and it just is like he just talks like that. Like he's kind of not putting on a voice, really, right?
No, that is like his voice. Yeah, it's so funny. Like because he does a lot of conventions too, and he'll talk about how like that, he's Master Shake and Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and it's the same voice as like the granny from Squidbillies, and he's like, this is just my voice, but it's the best voice. And he is wildly obsessed with Disney World and all things Disney. That's like his thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you also?
Okay, so I'm a Universal Studios girl. If given the choice, like I want to ride the rides, and one of the most heartbreaking things is when they got rid of the Back to the Future ride at Universal Studios Orlando. It was a very hard.
What did that become?
Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Simpsons, which is, it's fine, but it's like it's not, Christopher Lloyd, and I don't know. And then they got rid of Jaws, and that was another really tough one.
Rude. It felt very personal, but we still have E.T., which is great. So, but we'll take it. But what about you? Are you more of like a Disney or Universal? Which I grew up in San Diego, and so I would go to Disneyland all the time, like with my friends and family. And like in high school, like almost every summer, me and like 7 guys would all go to Disneyland. And so I haven't been since like the whole Star Wars land was put in and all of that. So I'm
Same.
long overdue for a visit. And
Yeah.
maybe hopefully now that I'm in a Disney movie and co-writing some Disney songs, can I get a park pass? Hello?
For real. I mean, save yourself what are they now? Like $200 something. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Inflation is
they're a
so
little
fun.
expensive.
So before we get into a game, because we do have a game, the final question I want to ask is if you have a favorite pun.
Yes, I did write a musical about pun competitions, which are a real thing that exists. And we're putting it back up at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater in Los Angeles on November 29th. So if anyone is in Los Angeles, come on out November 29th. Yeah, there's this in that show. One of the characters is at a funeral and inappropriately goes on a pun run about bread. So like she never kneaded dough. She knew how to pump her nickels. She didn't stick to gender roles, smash the patriarchy. Smash the patriarchy.
Good one.
Well, and it's in the form of a song.
As it should be.
Forget about it.
I love it. Okay, so you said November 29th.
That's right.
Awesome. Okay, Matthew, we have a game. This is a game of Would You Rather. There are no wrong answers, so whatever you pick is the correct answer. So this should be pretty easy for you. Even though some of these might be a little bit difficult, so we'll see what you pick. So here we go. The first Would You Rather is, would you have to drink a glass of milk from the mother or spend a week living in Detroit? Oh, God, that's so mean. Okay.
I know that is mean because it also just says Detroit. It doesn't even say like in that specific area of Detroit.
No, apparently it's just Detroit.
So I'm going to call their bluff and just say spend a week living in Detroit.
Lovely.
Because all of Detroit cannot look like that. I've never been to Detroit, but I've got to believe the entire city doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't. And they have Faygo. And so it's worth going to Detroit alone. Have you ever had Faygo?
No, what is that?
Oh gosh. Okay. So it's like have you ever heard of the Insane Clown Posse?
Yes.
Okay. So it's like the drink that they like kind of promote. It's called Faygo. It's very delicious, very sugary, probably bad for your teeth, but very delicious.
Is it like an energy drink?
No, it's more like a Fanta, I would say. Like a cola Fanta family. So when you make your way down there, get yourself some Faygo, not sponsored. Okay, here's the next one. Would you rather have to wear facial prosthetics every time you leave the house or always shave your facial hair into unique shapes?
Unique shapes.
I've seen you do a few.
Yeah, on my Instagram is still I grew a quarren beard, and I look, as a lot of people did, and also grew out my quarren hair. And when I look back upon it now, it looks insane, and it looks like a clear cry for help, and it looks like a manifestation of perhaps my emotional state just on my face and hair. But so when I shaved that off finally. I did. You have to. Every man who shaves off a beard has to do it in chunks and see what they look like in different looks. So I'll go with the beard one.
Great answer. Great answer. So far, so good. All right. Here's the next one. Would you rather live in Halloween Town or live in the Emerald City?
Halloween Town.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think that's a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Emerald City is like run by a liar.
Right.
And he also like rules with fear, and then that Wizard of Oz doesn't seem like a great guy,
right? And plus the monkeys, they're just
that seems like a real inconvenience.
Agreed. Halloween Town is a great option.
Yes, come on, looking at that moon with that silhouetted thingy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, here's the next one. Would you rather write an album of Halloween songs or write an album based on your daily thoughts?
Well, and I do enjoy a jigsaw puzzle. So that image is appropriate. Okay, but great. I think I would like to write an album of Halloween songs.
Great choice. Well, you got 364 days?
Yeah. maybe my follow-up to I Love My Dog could be just a full Halloween songs album.
Done. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the next one. Would you rather star in the first play you ever read or perform a song with the first musician you saw in concert?
Well, this is appropriate because the first concert that I went to was, in fact, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Live.
Yes.
They did a concert where Splinter and the Turtles sang and danced like they were a boy band.
Makes sense.
And it was great. So, boy, what I wouldn't give to be on that tour and be on that stage with those turtles.
You would be a great Casey Jones.
Oh, right? I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah. What song did Casey sing? I don't remember. I just remember Splinter singing Skipping Stones. He had some like emotional song where the lights all went out and everyone raised their lighters, and he was singing about skipping stones.
What's that called? Is that called like the 10 o'clock number? Like the big...
Yeah, the 11 o'clock number.
11 o'clock number was...
Yeah, like in Broadway shows. Yeah.
I feel like Casey would probably sing about like hockey or... I don't know. Maybe that's too specific, but Ninja Turtles, great answer. I love that. Okay, here's the next one. Would you rather have the ability to speak every language or have the ability to play every instrument?
Oh, man. Oh, that's a real Sophie's choice. Oh, boy.
This one's tough.
Because I like to travel, and boy, it's, it's convenient when you know how to speak the language or when you're there with someone who can speak the language. Mm-hmm. But also, man, if I had the ability to play every instrument and play them all really well, that would just make things a lot easier for me. Yeah. I'm going to do the instrument one.
Okay. Because that way you can play the flugelhorn.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to?
Exactly. I just want to play the banjo. I say this all the time that I'm going to take up the banjo, and I haven't yet. And one of these days, I now have to hold myself accountable to wanting to play the banjo. I just want to be like Steve Martin so bad. He is a very talented banjo man. Okay. We got two more of these. So here we go. Would you rather star in a movie about a historical figure of your choosing or star as a Marvel or DC villain of your choosing?
Well, I'm going to do the Marvel DC villain thing because, that'd get me more on the map, I think.
Okay. Fair.
Because they're all the rage nowadays. It's what the public wants.
Right.
They don't want another Lincoln movie. I was thinking of a tall historical person.
He's certainly, yeah. I don't know. I kind of like Lincoln. Okay, so if you could have a super ability, what would you choose?
Fly.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
That was always the dreams I would have as a kid. Is dreams of flying.
Man, I like the teleportation aspect too, because I'm like slightly afraid of heights. So I could get to place without the flying. But then there's the whole, Jeff Goldblum scenario. What if a fly gets stuck in my pot? You know what I mean? I don't want to turn into a fly is what I'm saying. So
Yeah. And to be clear, if anyone is listening and has the ability to give me the power, I said I chose to fly, not to be a fly.
Not to be a fly. Right. Very fair.
You can't be too careful.
Exactly. That's very true. Okay. This is the last one. This one's a little bit weird, but I think you can handle it. So would you rather be a reverse centaur or a reverse merman? Let's talk about the prosthetics. Let's see.
Wait, a prosthetic reverse centaur merman or an actual?
Actual. This is actual.
Yeah. Let's see. Presumably, if I'm a reverse merman, I can breathe underwater.
That would be yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that because that would give me access to just untold worlds beneath the sea, under the sea.
Under the sea. Maybe you'll find Atlantis. It's down there somewhere, so they say. So cool. Yeah. Now, in terms of prosthetics, which would be the more complicated? Well, I guess we've seen a fish man, but have we seen?
And then, I don't know. There was that movie, Sorry to Bother You. They had weird horse people with
Ooh.
giant horse wangs. Yeah, I think the fish would be easier. The horse, that's a lot, and it'd be heavy probably on the
Right.
neck.
And then the hair. Oh, yeah.
On that
Okay, fish is a great answer. Great answer. Well, you did great. You got them all right. Thank you so much. I know. Sigh of relief. Once again, I did want to mention that Barbarian is now streaming. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to watch it because it is phenomenal. It is so great. You are so great in it. Before we do wrap it up, any final thoughts you want to leave us with here on this lovely Tuesday?
Oh my gosh. No, I have no thoughts. I'm just glad that we managed to get through this. Minorly, we spoiled some of Barbarian, but we didn't go super far into it. So I feel like if someone hasn't seen Barbarian, they can still take the ride.
Oh, take the ride. Oh, I feel like if anything, we inspired them to watch it more because we didn't say that much. It's just, we know you're in prosthetics. That we know. They know
a prosthetic person's involved.
Yeah, but and they know Justin Long shows up. He is there. He is in the film, and there's an Airbnb. But beyond that, go watch it. Please, please, please. Before I do let you go, we're going to go over the upcoming guests that we have coming up for the rest of the year, going into next year, which is crazy that it's already November. Oh my God, I need to slow down. Okay, let's bring up the graphics. So on Thursday, we have Ricky, who is the guitarist for the band Ice Nine Kills. Next Tuesday, we have Gary Anthony Williams from the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? Following Tuesday, we have...
And Turtles. Speaking of Turtles.
Yes, he is. Was he Bebop or Rocksteady?
He was Bebop.
He was Bebop. Oh my gosh. And I'm just very, very excited for that one. We also have comedian/dentist Jimmy Lee, which should be an interesting time. We have professional wrestler Al Snow. We have Casey Jost from Impractical Jokers. Jay Gordon from the band Orgy, which is an interesting throwback. We also have Duncan Sheik. Are you familiar with Duncan?
I did a musical that he and Steven Sater wrote called The Nightingale down at the La Jolla Playhouse. Yeah, I love him. His songs are beautiful.
Yes. I was going to say, obviously Spring Awakening.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk to him about American Psycho.
Yes. I know. I wish I could have seen that because I
feel like you would have been great in that. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
What was the name of the project you did?
It was called The Nightingale.
The Nightingale. I'm going to have to look into that too. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been such a joy. And I guess we did it. We accomplished the thing. And you have all the new stuff that you can go and watch and enjoy. I forget what I recommended, but Frank and Weenie, and then I'm sure the Fago. So yeah.
And Face Off.
And Face Off. Oh, Face Off was so good. So Fago, Face Off, and Frank and Weenie, the fine things in life. Until we meet again, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys Thursday. Be safe, everybody. Au revoir.